everyone, and thank you so much for joining me in this meeting today. I just wanted to provide some information that we need to be aware of when completing our task tomorrow at the Health Awareness Day. There are a number of tasks to be completed with a range of different technologies, and I'll go over a few of these now, including a little about the tasks, how certain technology will be used to complete the task, and also how the tasks will be undertaken in accordance with the organisational requirements and instructions of our organisation here at the Early Childhood Learning Centre. So, as you are all aware, we need to send emails to the families to inform them of Health Awareness Week, and in particular the event to be held tomorrow, which is Health Awareness Day, where their attendance is required. Not only do they need to be informed of the event, but they also need to be advised to secure their children's positions for the health assessments to be carried out by the child health nurse that we have booked for the event. To ensure this task is completed, the administration staff will be communicating with families via email. They will need to initially send out a blanket email to all families informing them of the event, and then also send out another email in regards to the session times we have available for the health assessment checks. Parents will respond via email to secure the available positions for their children, and we will keep a record of the children and the time slots that they have selected. So, keeping in mind that we will be dealing with sensitive and personal information regarding personal email addresses, children's names, and personal telephone numbers, etc., we need to ensure that boundaries regarding this information are put in place. It is important to ensure that no staff members are giving out any of this personal information, and it is only used for the purpose of communicating with families. All personal information is to be stored securely by our organisation, either through the use of our standard forms or stored electronically and retained by our organisation. We need to take reasonable steps to maintain privacy and ensure any information is protected from unauthorised use or disclosure. Also, keeping in mind that we are representing the Early Childhood Learning Centre when in communication with parents and families, we also need to ensure that we maintain a high level of professionalism throughout this communication. I know that we are close to many of the families and their children, but we still need to ensure that the way we communicate remains professional by sending out structured emails, signing off at the bottom with your name, signature, contact details, and company logo or stamp. This also helps if parents need to get in contact with any of the administration staff over the phone, as all of the contact details have been included for easy access. So these are just some important things to take into consideration when communicating with families over email. Alright, so I'm just going to be sending out the emails to all of the families and the parents of the children here at the centre, just to book in the session times for the health assessment checks on Health Awareness Day. So yeah, I'll just be sending these ones out. Also, just making sure that I remain professional at all times. So down here I'm including my name, the phone number of the centre to reach the administration staff, and also the company stamp and logo for the Early Childhood Learning Centre here. So another one of the tasks that we are undertaking is taking photos throughout Health Awareness Day at the centre. We really want to capture images of children and their families participating in all the activities throughout the day, whether this be watching the presentations, interacting with other children and their families, or receiving the health assessments from the child health nurse. As we know, we want to capture these images so that we can post them to our relevant social media sites. This includes our online website, Instagram and Facebook, so that we can promote the event and our centre and to receive positive community engagement. To complete this task, we will need to use the office camera. We will require some of our staff members to actively participate in the event by walking around and taking photos with all of the attendees. The photos taken using the camera will need to be reviewed and looked through before photos are selected for our social media sites. Maintaining the privacy and confidentiality of all of the Health Awareness Day attendees is of the utmost importance. Before taking photos of anyone, it would be beneficial to ensure that all involved give their consent to having their photos taken, because as we know, they will be uploaded onto our social media sites. If they do agree to having their photos taken to be posted online, We will also need to determine whether or not they are comfortable having their names attached to these images. As we are dealing with children in this instance, some parents, or the children themselves, may not want their images posted on a public forum. So please ensure that if you're one of the selected staff members in control of taking the photos on the day, to always get consent before taking any photos. It is important to remember that throughout Health Awareness Day, you'll be representing the organisation, and while we like to maintain a friendly and helpful demeanour, we also need to ensure that we always remain professional. So, these are just some of the important things to take into consideration when taking photos of children and their families tomorrow on Health Awareness Day. Hi Sarah and hi Zach, so welcome to our Health Awareness Day here at the centre today. We are just taking some photos of the children and the parents participating in some of the activities that we're doing here today. But just before I take any photos, I just wanted to check that you guys consent to having your photos posted online. We're posting some onto our social media pages like Instagram and Facebook, and we're also posting some images to our online website. Alright, so you consent to having your photos taken and your names included in these? Alright, wonderful. I'm just going to take some photos of you guys. Alright, thank you so much and enjoy Health Awareness Day. Following on from what we spoke about in regards to communication with families by email, we will also need the administration staff to be available to complete follow-ups for any families or parents who have not yet secured their assessment session times for their children. Also, on the day of the event, our administration staff will be required to be available to answer any last-minute questions or note the families and children who may be running late to the event and need to change these session times. To ensure this task is carried out quickly and efficiently, the administration staff will need to be available to make or respond to any calls over our main landline in the office. Later today, I will get the administration staff to call the nominated guardian of those children and families who have not yet responded to the email we have sent regarding the session times. The new assessment session times that have been allocated will be recorded with the rest. Tomorrow on Health Awareness Day, I will need an administration staff member to man the front desk, and if any families are running late, they will need to be contacted and session times changed if needed. Also, they will be the first point of call for anyone calling the centre with any last-minute questions or queries. Much like the organisational requirements and instructions as explained previously, we need to take into consideration the boundaries around privacy and confidentiality of information. The types of sensitive information, such as phone numbers of families and parents, names and addresses, are not to be given out, and staff members need to ensure that the sole purpose of this information is only to be retained and used in the context of the Early Childhood Learning Centre. All personal information is to be stored securely by our organisation, and we need to take reasonable steps to maintain privacy and ensure any information is protected from unauthorised use or disclosure. Also, keeping in mind that we are representing the Early Childhood Learning Centre when in communication with parents and families, we need to ensure that we maintain a high level of professionalism throughout this communication. When contacting families by phone, we always need to first and foremost state where we are calling from and who is speaking. It is important also to ensure that you are speaking to the correct person and not pass on any private information that is intended for someone else. Phone manner is extremely important in maintaining professionalism, and ensure that you are speaking clearly and concisely, only using proper language, but still remaining cheerful and pleasant. So these are just some of the important things that we will need to take into consideration when communicating with families over the phone. Oh, hi there, is that Joanne? Hi Joanne, it's just Emma McDonald calling from the Early Childhood Learning Centre. Yeah, I was just calling today just in regards to James's health assessment check tomorrow for our Health Awareness Day that we're holding here at the centre. Yeah, I was just following up as I haven't yet received a response to the email that I sent out confirming all the session times. Yeah, no worries. I just wanted to check that he was still available to make that 10 a.m. assessment time. Alright, wonderful. I'll note that down and I'll see you and James tomorrow at 10 a.m. Alright, thank you, Joanne. Have a good day. We spoke a little before about using the camera to take pictures of families and children to post on our social media sites. So these social media sites include our online Early Childhood Learning Centre website, our Facebook page, and our Instagram page. We want to promote the event on the day and show the positive work that we are doing here at the Early Childhood Learning Centre and the amazing community involvement that we continually receive. To upload images onto our social media sites, a selected staff member will need to go through the photos taken on the day and select some to be posted. We will need to show a range of people and activities if possible. The photos will need to be downloaded from the camera to a USB device, and then these will be uploaded onto the organisation's iPad, where they will be posted onto all relevant social media sites. There are some things we'll need to take into consideration in regards to our organisation's requirements and regulations. As we are dealing with sharing images on a public social media forum, much like when we were discussing the use of the camera and the need for maintaining privacy and confidentiality of the people in the photos, there are also a few other things that we need to be aware of in this instance. As we are representing the Early Childhood Learning Centre online, we need to adhere to the terms and use and conditions of the social media platform we are using, as well as adhering to the guidelines of copyright, privacy, and discrimination. All information and images posted online must have explicit approval from the relevant authority before doing so, and we need to ensure that all content published is accurate and not misleading and complies with all of our organisation's policies. It is important to note that any comments or interactions made by our organisation on our social medias remain positive and respectful at all times. As a representative of our organisation, we must not share, post, or respond to any material that is offensive, obscene, harassing, bullying, discriminatory, hateful, racist, sexist, or is otherwise unlawful. We also need to ensure that we do not disclose any information that is confidential or secure relating to any members of the Early Childhood Learning Centre and their families and children, or even the staff. As previously mentioned, we are representing our organisation and we need to maintain the highest level of professionalism at all times and be aware that any posts that are made on any social media sites, including our online website, Facebook and Instagram, are a direct reflection of our organisation, and we need to ensure that anything that is posted must not be negative or cause any kind of damage to us as an organisation. So these are just some of the things to take into consideration when posting images to our social media sites. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who took the photos of the families and children yesterday at our Health Awareness Day. So I'm just going to use the iPad here to go through those selected photos and upload some onto our social media sites. So we've got Facebook, Instagram, and our online website. So just remember that when we are interacting with the families over these social media sites, that we do need to remain professional and remember that we are representing the organisation. So anything that is said over these social media sites is a direct reflection of the organisation here at the Early Childhood Learning Centre. Right, so I'm just going to upload these photos now through the iPad. As we know, we need to construct a poster and health information displays that will be presented at Health Awareness Day. The poster is to be placed in the foyer with all relevant information, including the session times for the children's health assessments, and will also outline the activities scheduled for the day. The poster is to be completed by myself, and the health informations are to be completed together with the administration staff and also myself. We want both the poster and the health information displays to be bright, colourful and informative, so that not only the parents can see all of the necessary information, but the children find them fun to look at also. To make these displays and poster, we will need to use a printer. There will be multiple displays, some of which are posters providing health information and facts, and some will be an outline of the activities to be undertaken on the day, as well as children health checks session times. We will need to print out all of the necessary information and pictures before constructing our posters and displays. Now, as far as the organisational requirements and instructions are concerned, one thing of importance to note when using the printer is to be aware of all the workplace health and safety measures. When using the printer, it is good to be aware of the potential noise that may be going on and to ensure that if many prints are needed, that there is no interference for other staff members, as this noise may result in a lack of concentration. The printer also tends to overheat when many prints are being made, so we need to ensure that the location of the printer is somewhere with plenty of ventilation and is not too close in proximity to other office equipment. We also need to ensure that the printer has been regularly maintained by properly trained personnel and is situated at a reasonable height to eliminate the risk of repetitive strain for those using the printer for long periods of time. We also need to be aware of the correct procedures in place in the instance of a paper jam or any other malfunctions, and which of these procedures can be carried out by a staff member who has received adequate training, and which of the procedures will need to be taken care of by a trained professional. So these are just some of the important workplace health and safety measures that need to be adhered to when correctly operating the printer.
Okay, so now I'm just going to be printing off some of the things that we need for the health information displays and the poster that we're going to be displaying at Health Awareness Day tomorrow. So as I said, just to always remember when using the printer to be aware of all the health and safety measures put in place. So ensure that if you are working around other staff members, be aware that the printer does make a lot of noise and can affect concentration levels for other staff members, and be sure that the printer is well ventilated and in an area where it's not going to overheat. So I'm just going to print this one off now. Oh, there we go. All right, so this one is ready to be used for our health information displays and poster.
So I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone for attending this meeting today, and hopefully I've explained in further detail a little about the different tasks that we will be undertaking tomorrow for Health Awareness Day, the technologies we'll be using to complete these tasks, and also how the tasks will be undertaken in accordance with organisational requirements, regulations and instructions of our organisation here at the Early Childhood Learning Centre.